So Tim, back-to-back home victories, was that as comfortable as you would have hoped for?
No, not really. After the Harrogate game, I dropped back-to-back on the lads' toes in the dressing room after the game. I said, I feel we need to win back-to-back at home, or try to win, and they've delivered that for sure. But it's been a bit sketchy, if I'm honest. I was looking for a much quicker start than we got against Torquay, much quicker, and it didn't materialise, to be honest. And listen, there's two teams in a match. Credit to Aldershot, they got some good players and they can play as well. But I didn't think we, put our game on them, if you like. Having said that, we've had 2 penalties again. That's 6 penalties in 3 games involving us. In the first half, managed to convert one of them. Had another couple of half-decent chances. I think Rex at the back stick, as I remember, maybe had a bit more time than he thought and choked his shot a bit. Maybe Stoz a little bit just inside the box, but I didn't think it was particularly. Listen, it's blowing a hoolie and it's whatever. It's the pitch was a little bit dry. It didn't seem to bounce through, and it weren't a great game to watch, if I'm honest, or I didn't think it was anyway. Second half, I got talked out of hitting the roof at half time because I just weren't happy with it. Having said that, we came in winning, so that's a plus. And then second half, it was it was just a midfield melee, really. I didn't think there was a hell of a lot going on. And then Stenson came and he just hits one from under his feet like a tracer bullet in the corner. Great finish. And I'm thinking, just cruise in if you can, if there's ever such a thing. And of course we show a man inside on his good foot in a defending third, which is a crime in itself. We don't track a runner at the back stick, and then we don't anticipate Booty tipping it onto the bar and don't even bother following in. So there's 3 crimes in 1 goal, which there usually is when you trace it back. And we end up making it harder for ourselves on the run-in. Then we go, they're going to push it, pump it forward and up to the big man and get the bits and the scraps. I just didn't think we played particularly well, but listen, there's a lot more to come from us, a lot more. And listen, I'm just looking forward to when we do get going, because when we do, it could be interesting.
Do you think, obviously in that first half, it's quite sketchy and bitty, there's a few fouls niggly?
Yeah.
Did that sort of set the tone?
Yeah, I think so. I think there was a lot of like lads wrestling on the ground and pushy, shovey, like all this, rubbish really. And the referees diving in, there's whistles blowing here, there, and everywhere. And it weren't a spectacle, if you like. It wasn't that entertaining, but football's like that, isn't it? If you could buy a ticket to go and guarantee an entertaining game every week, then you'd be a sellout every time. It's never going to happen. Our task was to win the game, or the task I set the boys is win the game. Bottom line, if you don't play well, win, and that's what they've done. So with that, I'm delighted. It's a solid start. A draw against a very, very good team away from home and back to back, as you say, at home. I'm pleased with that, and we need to go through the gears a little bit and start improving our start to football matches and killing people off when we get chances.
And of course, Matt Stetson comes off the bench, goes that well. Is he knocking on the door for you now? Yeah, he's been knocking on the door anyway. I had a conversation with him just prior to the Harrogate game. We trained on the AstroTurf at CTC, and I had a conversation before and after the session with him because he had a bit of a toenail infection, and he sat most of that out. And I said, pre-season he's caught our eye. Last season he's come in raw from part-time football. They would sometimes training only on a Thursday at Leamington, and this is a big standard. It's a big jump because it's full time, and that means on and off the pitch, professionally, looking after yourself, doing the right things during the week to be able to perform on a Saturday. And pre-season he was terrific. He really was. He looked like the penny had dropped. I told him I don't want him doing triple salcos in midfield and all these circus act stuff. Play up front, running behind, play to your strengths. So he's got, as you've seen, he's got a missile of a shot on him, especially out of his right foot, but his left ain't bad. He can jump, he can edit. He's a decent player, and if people in his ear all shut up and let him play football, then he's got half a chance.
And like you say, although you might be disappointed with performances, results are still there, and now we're looking to back it up on Tuesday now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Chorley were 2-0 up in 10 minutes at Sutton, which is not easy on down there, and ended up taking a point away from home. They're undefeated this season. I've seen their last 2 games already on the tape, and they're lively. They're 3-5-2, big, but very, very energetic. They've come into the league and they're going to have a go. No doubt. Looking at them, they're full of energy, full of running, and we're going to have it all on, and I'm expecting us to, or we're going to have to lift it a gear or two to get some up from the game, from what I've seen. And they've obviously started front foot today because they're 2-0 up inside 10 minutes. So we need to expect them to make a fast start. So we'll revisit it as a staff over the weekend, have a little think about what we're going to do up there, shape and personnel wise, and implement that on Monday.
Thank you, Tim.
You're welcome.